My name is Kathleen, and I host the weekly soccer edition of our show. I am so excited to have Annie Peterson here. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I am enjoying the last gasps of summer here in Portland, which is the best time of year, and getting ready for the college football season and the NFL season and everything else that is out there going on in the fall. So, yeah.
I know.
How
I can't
about
believe
you?
football's already here.
I know. And
crazy.
And Oregon's ranked. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and Oregon is ranked the number 2 team in the country. So
Yes.
I have a lot of stuff. I did a big project today for the Associated Press. It's pretty cool. Benji Flowers plays for the FC Dallas Academy. He was just signed to a senior contract with the team, and he was signed by Chelsea. So when he turns 18, he will be going off to Chelsea, right?
Oh, that's so cool.
Big deal. His big brother, Aaron, plays for the Oregon Ducks. And he is a defensive back. And so I had a great time talking to the two of them about why were you in one football and why is your brother in another football? And they were wonderful and adorable and accommodating and got some great insight. Benji just didn't grow big enough. And so his parents were like, no, we're not sending you out on the American football field, but here's soccer. Soccer would be good for you. So, but they're just both tremendous athletes. Aaron is a sophomore at Oregon and probably has may get a bite in the NFL. So that's great. And then Chelsea is awaiting Benji. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And so obviously you're the AP reporter out where you are. You're responsible for all sorts of things throughout the year. And then you work on some soccer for us. You do Soccer Insider. This week on Monday, you wrote about Epicenter Week. Tell me about that.
So Epicenter Week is now, this is the second year they're doing it. And basically the Bethals, Alex and Lisa Bethal-Mirage, own both the Thorns and the Portland Fire. This probably is a little too basic for our audience, but so they kind of coined this phrase when they bought the WNBA team that this is going to be the epicenter of women's sports. And so they've kind of built on that idea. And so once a year, they have like a series of events. It's a week-long kind of series of events. This year the big thing was the opening of the joint training facility that's going to be shared by the Fire and the Thorns. It's the first purpose-built women's training facility for 2 different leagues. So that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. So you walk in and there's this giant rose chandelier on the ceiling that sparkles. And then they have a local artist produced art for the foyer. And then you walk in and there's a massive trophy case. And Lisa joked, that's where all of our trophies are going to go. And it will be filled soon, she said. And then you go and there is a weight room that is bigger than my house. And it has an outdoor facility also that you can go and work out outside and kind of have an indoor-outdoor experience, a Pilates room, a yoga room. Then you get into there's an underwater treadmill, and these things are all, and huge gym, 2 full-size basketball courts, and outside are 2 full-size soccer fields. The Thorns were already out there working out when I got a tour of the building. Massive cafeteria, but the details that they've kind of put in, like this special coded for women kind of details in there, like a nursing room. There's 2 nursing rooms, and Lisa Bethal joked that she called up Sophia Wilson and said, "What nursing chair do you have?" And Sophia said, "Oh, I get this brand." And Lisa's like, "Done. We're getting those for the training facility." And then they have a baby nursery that is already outfitted with all the toys and like stuffed Winnie the Pooh animals and all of this stuff. And then they have like a meditation room that is very zen, and it has trees painted on the ceiling, and there's massage rooms joined next to it, and there's a cafeteria. It's just, the locker rooms are gorgeous, and the Morgan Weaver and Sophia were last year. Morgan was injured, right? She just came back, and Sophia was having her baby, so they were the ones that like selected the finishes on things.
Oh, that's fun.
So Lisa pulled them in and said, "What can we do here?" And they were like, "Oh, the logo has to be in rose gold." So like the logo on the wall is in rose gold, and then they made little nameplates in the locker room or in the bathroom that's adjacent to the locker room that has everybody's name in rose gold script.
Oh,
I mean,
cool.
just the little touches like that. Like in the locker room, there are in the Thorns locker room, there are rose scrunchies with little roses on them that are available for the players. I mean, just little teeny tiny details like that. And the stuffed animals already being there, the things like that just were made it so cool. It's not 100% finished yet. But it's gorgeous. And I've seen a lot of training facilities over the course of my time with the NFL, and the Ducks have an amazing training facility. This is gorgeous. This is really gorgeous and very female centric, which is nice. So.
I remember when Kansas City opened theirs a couple years ago, the players were just fascinated by what we felt like were the smallest things, but they were like, "We have nice soap." It was just, it's so funny to think that like they haven't been asked about like their preferences, or that they've just kind of dealt with whatever was there, like us showing up to a hotel. It's like, oh no, these are professional athletes. We should probably give them some say in their training environment, their home.
Right. Just the little details can make a huge, massive difference. The summit was the thing that was probably the biggest attraction of Epicenter Week. There was also Tobin Heath retiring with the Thorns, and then Rose, the glitter breathing dragon, unveiled for the fire. So those things were all part of Epicenter Week. But the big thing was the Global Women's Sports Summit. And this is the second year. But it was a whole day event, and everyone who is anyone in women's sports, except for the commissioner of the WNBA, was in town. So we had the first panel was Dr. Stacy Sims, who has done amazing research into women's performance and what is the next kind of level in terms of scientific research that we can do into women's performance, things like pregnancy, menstruation, perimenopause, all of those things. She was fascinating. She was really good, but she was the big keynote opening speaker. Then they had several panels. One of the panels was Jessica Berman was on the panel, along with commissioners from other sports. So we had someone from the LPGA. we did have someone from the WNBA. We had someone from Love Bee Volleyball. And the Women's Softball League also. And then there was another panel with that was interesting with JT Batson from US Soccer. He's the CEO of US Soccer, and that was fascinating. And then we also had Tobin Heath and Lauren Holiday at the end of the conference talking about what's next and what women need and that kind of thing. I wrote about it today in Soccer Monday about how obviously the main theme was investment. We have to have more investment in women's sports, and Jessica talked about it and was very interesting in terms of saying that they get approached by advertisers who are like, why aren't your metrics like the NFL? And, NWSL doesn't have the metrics of the NFL.
Right.
No sport in the United States has the metrics of the NFL. And
right.
So if you're looking for NFL type of engagement and metrics and that kind of thing, you have to, maybe you're not for us. And she was very frank about not just taking every deal that comes the NWSL's way, and instead being intentional about who they partner with. And so that was very interesting. And also talked about the World Cup bump for the Men's World Cup influencing the NWSL. And it appears that it has, from early attendance figures, had some soccer people are watching more soccer, and that includes the NWSL. So, and attendance figures are up. But that's really preliminary. So, we're not going to get the big picture on the World Cup bump for a while, but just in a preliminary sense, it is. And then, obviously, the big moment is coming next year for Brazil, and we'll have an earlier season to cover next year, starting in February, which seems crazy to me, but it is what it is, because obviously teams are going to be completely decimated when it comes to the World Cup. I mean, everybody's gone. So it makes sense that they have to have that extended break in the middle of the summer, and then also to give those women a little bit of a break after the World Cup. So it makes perfect sense. But that, that's going to be, a moment for the NWSL. All of next year. And so the preparation for that, the marketing around that, all of that stuff is, is something that, Berman is vitally aware of, and the things that the NWSL is working on, but also the media rights deal is kind of hanging out there too.
Right.
So I don't want her job. She's got a tough job, and that. So next year is really going to be a banner year for the NWSL. But she kind of spoke about how, when she took over in 2022 and she was looking at the main things that needed to be done, the thing that was great about the league was the players, and that they're, world-class players, world-class play. And then the other things kind of and then, that made the other stuff, a little bit easier, right? Like she could focus. The product was already there, essentially. If you want to refer to it as a product, it was on the field, it was there. And so that allowed her to focus on the other things, like moving on from the Yates report, attracting new sponsors, team valuations, and new owners for the team. There was a lot of turnover
There was
5 years. So that was another thing, getting owners who are intentional about women's sports and growing them, and not, private equity firms that want to come in and sell off the parts. So that was very interesting. Her part, I mean, I guess it's just because, I cover the NWSL and that's one of my main beats. And so I was really listening closely to what she was saying. I will say this about the Epicenter, and it's a little bit, it's got very lofty expectations. It's like Portland is the epicenter of women's sports. Now, I've written about it before. Portland loves their women's sports, and cool for me because it keeps me in a job. But it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that there weren't a lot of public events. Like, the public couldn't go to the Nike campus and watch this event. It was leaders in the industry, and it was potential investors, and it was Nike people, and so there was no, there was this talk a lot about community, but like the community wasn't invited to some of these events. And so I would like to see them personally open the doors a little bit, maybe have the Global Women's Sports Summit, be a ticketed event or something, so that people would at least be able to share in these things, like touring the practice facility would have been cool, right? For the fans of the team. So, that's my one criticism of the whole thing. Otherwise, it's just the networking part of it. For somebody like me, it was awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's like, here's my card, here's my card, here's my card, here's my card. So it was fun. It was really cool. And I think that the Bethals, really are, championing women's sports. I don't get the idea that it's an act at all, or, just niceties because they own the team or anything like that. I think that this is genuinely something that they care about. So,
and I do think that authenticity is kind of this piece that now that there's finally, we had a lot of heart before, and there wasn't the money, and then now there's the money, and we maybe lost some of the heart. And so now I like to think that we are kind of getting back there. And we have some people who now it is profitable enough, or at least more achievable, that we can get kind of the women's sports people back into it. Like you said, rather than some of the like BCs or some of the other things that we're seeing on the men's sports side.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the Lakers sale is a perfect example of this. Obvious, the guy bought the Lakers a year ago and then he flipped it. And so, that is something that wouldn't work in women's sports. Right. I don't think, especially for the fan bases, and, the community attitude. It's like, you can't just okay, highest bidder. Right. That doesn't work for the stage that women's sports are in right now. Right. I'm not saying that that's going to always be the case 20 years down the line. Maybe things are different. But for right now, there has to be a real intentionality about how the league is run, and and how the teams are run.
Well, Epicenter Week sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you were able to go. So glad you were able to share some of those details with us here and over in Soccer Monday, which I will link down in the description. If we switch over to NWSL, we're 2/3 of the way through the season.
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah, everybody's played 20 games.
Okay, well, okay.
I know.
didn't quite realize that. I mean, I could just kind of okay, this is this week, this is next week, and I didn't realize that we were that far into it. So that's interesting.
Yeah. we've got Gotham on top. They're 7 points ahead. So pretty solid lead right now. And then a lot of crowding in that next 5 or 6 spots.
Yeah. So Gotham, okay, undefeated in 9 games. Amazing, right? I'm worried about Rose Lavelle.
Yes.
Given that she left yesterday. Was it yesterday? I'm already mixing up my days. So I'm concerned about Rose, obviously. I found it really interesting that Esther Gonzalez got signed by a Saudi team.
Absolutely. After leaving with personal reasons.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. But let's face it, Gotham is a super team.
Yeah.
And if they weren't 6 points ahead of, was it 6 points? 6 points ahead of everybody else, it'd be like, oh my God, what happened to Gotham?
Right.
So this is Gotham being Gotham, and we just hope that Rose Lavelle is okay. The game last night with Angel City, the 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
Good for Angelina Anderson for saving the PK.
Yes.
But that was just not the most thrilling game, I guess, that I would have to say. Scoreless draws are tough.
They are.
They're really tough. But Sam Kerr had that really amazing opportunity, I think it was like the 91st minute or something, where she hit the post or the goal, and so that was like, oh, something's happening.
Yeah.
That was like my first. It's like, oh, there goes Sam Kerr. Good. Okay.
Yeah, big weekend for the crossbar.
So yeah. So it didn't pan out, but that was I just was expecting more from that game.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. So, but always fun to watch Gotham. Always fun to watch Angel City. So,
yes.
I guess you take the good with the bad. Yeah. And then what was so I watched the Thorns this weekend, and, they won again. Sophia Wilson scored again. So she has now 10 goals. And it's the 4th season that she's had double digit in goals. And I thought it's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then Tobin, right? That game was all about Tobin. What happened on the field, really, yeah. I mean, great for Sophia, but that game was the Tobin game. So, and I didn't get to go, unfortunately. But I loved watching all the videos and everything. And I got to see Tobin at the Epicenter, actually speak at the Global Women's Sports Summit. And yeah, so she and Lauren Holiday spoke. And they were like the last speakers of the summit. And, they were amazing, both of them. I put this in the newsletter, but at one point, Lauren Holiday, whose husband is Drew Holiday, who plays for the Blazers, she said, "Oh, Blazers, please don't trade my husband, because we're home now. This is where we're gonna be at home." And so that was kind of cute. But yeah, Tobin and Tobin's and Kristen Press was there, but Tobin's outfit was amazing.
Oh yeah.
She has become okay, so I remember Tobin when she was with the Thorns, right? And you would see her around town, and she just wore shorts and baggy t-shirts, and that was it. And now she's got this fashion thing going on, where she's really she is really expressing herself through her fashions, and they're amazing and they're great. And this is a talent. This is a rare talent. she can wear these amazing clothes and still be Tobin.
Yes.
You know, it's like sometimes people look like they're playing dress up.
Right.
With like designer clothes. Tobin just makes them her own, and
Yeah.
I really I totally respect that about her, and Kristen Press looked amazing too, always does. But yeah, that was the Tobin game, so there was nothing more really to say about that. No Lindsay Heaps for the summit, right. So it wasn't the big Lindsay Sophia clash that many had hoped to see, and now Torden has 9 assists. She's leading.
So. Yeah, leading the league.
Yeah, and the Thorns are on a 3-game winning streak, so they're one of these teams that's ascending a little bit more than some of the others. So this is an interesting time of year. Where you get these like these people who are like, yep, we're going to the playoffs and we were going to be home field advantage, and that's, you know, and that's what we're playing for, and they do it. So you know, the Wave really made a case for that with a 4-2 win over the Royals, Utah Royals. Mina Tanaka scored 2 goals, though. I was cheering.
I know.
I don't cheer a lot, but I cheer for Mina Tanaka.
I feel like we've maybe had more braces this year.
Yeah,
any other year. It feels like every single weekend we have 3 or 4.
Yeah, and Trinity Byers had a brace. So in that game. So you know, and 2 assists. She had an incredible game.
Yeah.
And so the Wave are one of those teams that are like, oh, this is now the playoff push. So that was an interesting game. I did not watch the Orlando Pride Washington Spirit game.
Yeah.
But that looked like it was boring because the Pride scored right away and then just like hunkered down on defense, and there was nothing more for the rest of the game. At least that was my take on it. But like I said, I didn't get to see that one in person, so unfortunately I'm not really sure. I do know that I was writing notes on when I was doing the editing for our NWSL, and it was like the Spirit had 73% possession.
That's insane.
And, like, how did they lose?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But also that's because the Pride parked the bus, and so of course the Spirit had.
Well, I think Kansas City had 24 shots and only scored on a PK.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So we definitely had some weird stats this weekend.
Yeah, there was some stuff going on. But let's talk about Ashley Sanchez and trying to make the U.S. national team, because obviously that's what is going on here. So now she's got 13 goals? I think it's 13. So she leads the league. Who saw that at the beginning of the season? Like,
not me.
Like, she was not on any of the lists of the players to watch. You know, it was going to be Barbara Banda, Tamwa Shawinga, Sophia Wilson. You know, I mean, those were the big ones.
And maybe somebody could surge while the first 2 were at WAFCON, but I didn't have Ashley on my list. And
I didn't have Ashley on my list. And she is just making a case for herself for inclusion on that national team. She really is. I think that, the looming Women's World Cup has made it important for her, and she's doing it. She's just having an amazing season. So just a joy to watch. But she's always been fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, I have liked her. So before the 2023 World Cup, I think it was, where they had a media day in California, in Los Angeles, and they had every single player got a table except Morgan, Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe, and Lindsay Heaps were up on a podium.
Okay.
And then everybody else had their own little table. And so you could go and interview them. And like, there was Rodman, right? She had 80 million people around her. You could not get in to ask her a question. Same with Sophia, 80 million people around her. So it was fun for me during that thing to go and talk to players that I normally didn't get to talk to.
Yeah.
So like one of the best conversations I had was with Ashley Sanchez. She was amazing. She was talking about how she was learning Spanish and all of this stuff. And it was just, she was great. And so like, I have to root for her. The other person who was awesome was Christy Mewis, who went through her entire skincare and makeup routine with me.
I love that. She would.
I was just like, I don't really have any soccer questions for you, but like your eyebrows are perfect.
Yeah, true.
So tell me what you do, and she was more than happy to do it.
You may have inspired her whole TikTok career.
Oh, she was amazing. And then who is the other person that I talked to that was so fun that they were talking about? I eventually did like a little project on what the players plan to do on the 14-hour flight to New Zealand. And everybody kind of had their own little thing. Like so-and-so was going to binge watch Succession, right? And so somebody else was like, oh, I'm not a big reader or watcher, so I just kind of sleep. And some were video games. I think Trinity was like, I'm bringing my Switch. And that was just a fun little game. And then you got the ones that like the Stanford kids who are all like, well, I'm going to be working on calculus, right? So that was just a cute little fun story that like, oftentimes I'm kind of like, I kind of have to write about the stuff that's right in front of me, and I don't get to do those like the cute projects that I want to do. So that was, I really appreciated the fact that AP was just like, yeah, go for it. So
I was flipping through looking for movies to watch with my fiance yesterday, and he asked if I'd ever seen Book of Eli, and I was like, yeah, good movie, whatever. And I was like, but I have the weirdest story about it because I interviewed Gail Sayers, like the running back in college because I went to KU. And he joined like front office, and I think was helping make like fundraising calls, that kind of thing. And I got to go and just talk to him and like, hey, introduce him to another generation, that kind of thing. And I asked him what his favorite movie was, and he said, well, I really like Book of Eli and that one about Kate Winslet and the boat.
Yeah, that would be Titanic.
I was like, the Titanic. Got it.
Oh my God, that's great. That's a good answer.
And then I asked him about Life of Brian. He was like, I mean, I wasn't upset when they told me that Billy D. Williams was going to play me in my life story.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Right. We'll get to see that in women's soccer with the 99ers movie that's coming
out.
I know.
I'm excited about that. I feel like we're finally reaching the like cultural moment where it's not just documentaries. And I love a documentary. I love like learning more about them. And obviously ESPN's done a really good job the last couple of years doing the 99ers series. They did that 9 for 9 series a couple of years ago around the anniversary of Title IX, and talked to Venus and Serena, and talked to Martina and Chrissy, and all these different famous women's athletes. But I feel like now that we're getting a little fictionalized story, that's maybe a big sign.
Right? That's super cool. And I didn't think of it that way. But yeah, there's the women's soccer movies are Bend It Like Beckham.
Right. Yeah, or She's the Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Arguably more about men's soccer, but
exactly. But this is kind of a shift.
Because I'm thinking about like
it's a good thing.
Miracle on Ice and how that like introduced so many people to hockey, and they were like, oh, hockey might be cool. Maybe I should learn some more about like that game and that team. And
right. So now maybe this is the women's soccer's cultural moment. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
well, what else are you working on, Annie? Where can people find you? You're all over the place. You already touched a little bit on it.
So I work for the Associated Press. I'm based in Portland, Oregon. So that means I cover everything in Oregon. This season, which is like the Oregon Ducks are ranked number 2, like I said. There's the Portland Trailblazers who will be starting up soon. And there's been drama around that team with the ownership and public money going to rehab their stadium. So that's been a big story. I also cover MLS for the Associated Press and NWSL as a league. I don't necessarily cover team by team. I tend to look at bigger picture stories. So that's what I'm doing. And then I also cover the Seattle Seahawks for the AP. So I drive up to Seattle a lot. My daughter lives there, which is cool. I'm also, the Washington Huskies are ranked, I think, number 17, if I remember. So I've got them on my plate too. So that'll be so like I don't have time to breathe, and I don't sleep ever.
You look great though.
Oh well, thanks. I appreciate it. It's like at some point my partner says, "So when are you going to get too old for all of this?" It's like, when are you going to sit down and like take a break? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe after the World Cup. And then I do stuff. Obviously for the 9, I would like to do more soccer stuff. We'll see. It's just my schedule is kind of crowded right now.
Right.
And I also do stuff on the Fire for the 9. I just wrote a story about the new training facility for the 9, and so I have my hands in a couple of random places. So Howard Megdal, who founded the 9, called me in 2017 and he said, well, we're just going to launch this little newsletter and, it'll take you like an hour a week and just do, it'll go out on Monday and it'll be fine. Right. I'm like, okay, cool. That sounds kind of good. Right. A little newsletter I can put in all the AP. I don't get to really opine on anything.
Right.
I just, I have to write just the facts, right?
Yes.
But I get to kind of like insert like my little feelings in the soccer newsletter. And that's been really cool.
Yeah, that's our favorite. We just kind of have a general, oh, Annie? Yeah, we'll run it. Policy. So that's our official stance as executive editor.
Well, cool. That's awesome. Yeah. And then I'll be doing more of the Fire, but the Fire stories are going to be more like news stories.
Yeah.
So they won't be Annie. So
that's okay. We need those too.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it for us this week. Thank you so much for joining, Annie. And you guys can tune in later in the week. We have a college basketball show, a professional basketball show. We have a hockey show. And then on a separate stream, we have Women's Sports Daily, which is your 5-minute kind of daily recap, run around of all the biggest headlines in women's sports. So you should be able to find that wherever you stream your podcasts. And we will see you next week.
Thank you.